Hey everybody, Yankee here. Today I want to come at you with some more good legal news regarding the Second Amendment, this time from another state you wouldn't expect to hear it coming from, Maryland. It seems that a federal court judge in Maryland has granted a stay against a new law in Maryland that would require a 3-day waiting period to purchase any firearm. Once you passed your background check, you would have to wait an additional 3 business days before you could pick up your firearm that you purchased, you passed a background check for. Now, the judge stated that the reason he's given them this stay is because under Bruin and the new definitions on how you can judge laws regarding the Second Amendment, he said that it is likely they're going to prevail, the people that are challenging the waiting period. He doesn't see any way that the actual law imposing a waiting period on people buying firearms could be constitutional under the new definitions and under the new rulings like Bruin, etc. So therefore, he granted the stay. So basically what he's saying is waiting periods are unconstitutional. And this is something I love to see happening in the courts. I want to see this work its way higher to the Supreme Court because here in the state of Washington, we have a waiting period too. And it's not 3 business days, it's 10. So you're waiting anywhere from, 14 to 16 days to be able to pick up a firearm. And that's after your background check clears. If you go in and buy a gun, it takes 2 days for your background check to come in. Well, then it's 10 business days after that. So you could be waiting up to 3 weeks sometimes before you can pick your firearm up. So this is something I would greatly love to see overturned because these waiting periods are ridiculous. They don't save any lives. In fact, I've done research and shown that they actually cost lives. That can be shown. I found no fewer than 7 cases where people who had received threats from estranged spouses, etc., went and tried to purchase a firearm, and while they were waiting, they were murdered. There was one in Seattle that while she was waiting for her firearm to be able to be picked up, she was strangled in her driveway by her ex. So they do cost lives. And also, they're just a way for the state to place another burden on the retailers. The reason they want retailers to have these waiting periods, it's not because they think they're going to stop any crime or they're going to save any lives. They're not. There's no basis for that. But it does place a burden on retailers because now not only do you have to have storage space for the guns you're going to sell, you have to have storage space for all the guns you already sold. Especially here in Oregon, they have to hold, 2 weeks, 3 weeks worth of guns at any given time. And there's special rules about how you have to store that, like how many safes you have to have, blah, 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 what kind of safe space you have to have. So that puts a real burden on retailers. When they have to start keeping the things they already sold, well, that makes it take longer for them to be able to replace that thing if they don't have room. So that makes it harder for them to make a living. And like I said, it increases their overhead costs dramatically because of the way they have to store those weapons, etc. That's what most of these laws are about. If you trace them back, they're usually about destroying the retail base for firearms. That seems to be the big thing nowadays with the Bloomberg people, etc. So I was really happy to see this. To see that judges are finally realizing that, hey, a lot of these things like, waiting periods, special permits to purchase, things like that are unconstitutional under Bruin. We've been told we can't rule the way we used to, and it's nice to see some judges actually starting to take that to heart, even in places like Maryland. So, and, other places we've talked about recently, Illinois even. So it's really nice to see this. I'm really happy to see this one specifically because, like I said, we have a really long waiting period here in Washington, and I'd love to see it go away, and I think this is one of the first steps.